Hello everyone, and welcome back to Everyday Husband Quotes, the channel for marriage advice, marriage entertainment, and everything else marriage. Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Now, fans are outraged when they heard Jermaine Dupri speak on his relationship with Janet Jackson from 2009, honey. But this is old news, but this topic is in the headlines once again because Jermaine went on T.I.'s Expeditiously podcast just a few weeks ago and was asked about his relationship with Janet. Now, Jermaine says the relationship ended because of their long distance relationship. He says he was in Atlanta and Janet was in LA, and when asked from the Breakfast Club several years ago, does he regret losing her, he said he doesn't know, and he is probably the one to have messed the relationship all up. Jermaine says he's flawed and the world will think what they want to think, and with the title of being Janet Jackson's boyfriend, it really overshadowed his success in the music industry. He also said, honey, people thought he wanted to move Janet Jackson from LA to the hood. LOL.
So, how did you not get married, JD?
Other things that I wanted to do.
Oh.
And so many other places that I felt like I wanted to go. I felt like, I started realizing that, I started thinking like marriage for me wasn't gonna work. Just something about it. I'm gonna front and say I wasn't. I felt married. I think the only thing that was separate from it that created a difference for me was the fact that we didn't live together. We had an 9-year relationship, but we didn't live with each other, right? And I still felt like that part of it was something we hadn't experienced,
right?
And I feel like that's a part that people have to really get used. That's where you really determine if you're strong,
yeah,
right? She wasn't willing to move to Atlanta. She was willing to come out here for a couple of weeks,
right?
But living in Atlanta for her just didn't really seem like LA, you know what I mean? And me, I wasn't ready to move to Malibu because Malibu ain't Old National.
Dupri said he met Janet Jackson backstage at a Criss Cross concert, and you know you have to be an old school head to know exactly what I'm talking about. He said he gifted her with a two-way pager after he found out she didn't have one, and they ended up flirting through messages between a mutual stylist that they shared.
I heard he gave you, was it a two-way?
It was my birthday, and I got a two-way pager, the latest model.
Yeah.
And I said, so when someone does something like that, you feel obligated to give him my info. And I said, he's slick, this one. But he says, no. He said, honestly, I was just giving you a birthday present.
Well, no, we met at her concert at the Omni, Criss Cross. And this one, Jermaine Dupri was just a producer. You know,
right.
I wasn't nobody that I ain't had no record out yet or nothing. Nobody knew me besides what I did for Chris and Escape and whatever. So we go to her show, and I'm part of their entourage, and they not part of. I'm part of the Criss Cross entourage.
Right.
So Criss Cross going in to meet Janet Jackson, and the bodyguard
stop you.
The bodyguard hit me with the hand. And so I'm not being able to go in. So they like, shit, that's our man. We don't move. You know what I'm saying? So they telling her, and when they tell her, she had to vouch for me. Let him in. Let him in. He cool. When I came in, it was almost like the Diana Ross concert. She started talking to me like, "Oh, so you must be the special one." You know what I mean? You must be. Oh.
Damn.
You know, they ain't want to leave you outside. Why they want to leave you outside? Like, just, whatever, shooting the shit. But that it seemed like an energy. Right? And at that point, I was just like, I'm going to see you again. You know what? We're going to talk about this again.
Damn.
I'm going to let you, it's Chris.
You mean to tell me you didn't invite her back to the house at the let us see the closet with the booth?
No. I was just like, I'm going to see you again. This Chris time, I'm going to let y'all do what y'all doing. I just was standing back making sure they cool.
Yeah.
That's my role.
Right.
And from there, it became a situation where something that I was doing always kind of bled into her life. I had a stylist that was basically my stylist all the time. And she was Janet's stylist.
Okay.
So I used to be joking around, like, you know, I'm joking. Janet Jackson, tell Janet I say, you know, I'm saying, like, just whatever.
You were serious.
Yeah.
You meant
and
that
one
shit.
day, she did the shit.
Oh.
JD over here talking like, and she was a white girl named Julie. Shout out to Julie. And she telling her she cool. She talking to her. And then Jan was saying shit back. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Now listen. I'm not that dude.
We're not finna play with me now.
Yeah, you start talking back to me, you know.
Right.
It's going to be a different type of game. So we just start, you know, doing that, shooting the shit, blah, blah, blah. And then one other time, somebody was like, yo, JD, we going to the club. And I'm like, who was we? It was like me, Janet, da-da-da-da-da. You should come. I went to the club. I think me and Brat was together. And we basically just started getting, like, being more comfortable and cool with me being around. And she realized that from that one time that she met me with Chris and Chris, that I was a little bit more important than just the person that was supposed to be outside the door. Because I knew multiple other people, her friends, and she seen me doing other projects.
You had become exponentially more richer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, y'all hear that? That's it. I mean? I'm going to use that too on y'all.
Yeah. And more successful too.
Yeah, yeah. So it was just a thing. And like, so we became friends. And I guess you want to call it, I took my shot, right?
Shot your shot.
And my shot was, she didn't have a two-way.
Oh, two-way pages. She
didn't have a two-way.
Okay.
And they was sending me two ways like I was the owner.
You just got it.
JD, here you go. Here go a new silver one.
Damn.
We got you. So I found out she ain't had one, and they was sending them to me. So I was like, shit, you know what? I want y'all to send one to Janet from me. So I got the address from my stylist, and I sent her the two-way. And I'm thinking, like I said,
you the only one had that number too. You the only one don't get it. I got to be the only one with this number.
I'm thinking like, yeah, so I'm gonna get the number. You gonna hit me back because I know what it is, right? That's how I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So I'm like, she gotta hit me back at this point because I'm sending her two-way.
I mean, come on, why did you? She got to at least say thank you.
She at least say thank you.
Yeah.
So she hit me back. And she hit me back. It was like at that point, like, let's hang out, let's kick it. And we just started really just hanging out.
Now, their relationship did last for about 7 years. Jermaine says 8, but if you look it up, it says 7 years. Okay, making Janet Jackson 36 at the time and Jermaine Dupri 30. And the story that Jermaine gave T.I. is a more recent story about the breakup between him and Janet. But back in the early 2000s, honey, the story of why they broke up was because Janet was dealing with the death of her brother, Michael Jackson. And we all know that her brother passed away in 2009. And I mean, both stories could be true. And now they are just adding one more content to the original story that was put out there. And Jermaine continues on to open up to T.I. about the relationship by saying Janet Jackson was so rich and people will assume she would explore the world with all of her riches and glory, but truth is she was more sheltered than what people assume. And he explains it like this, because he says Janet Jackson was brought up in a strictly religious household and she didn't end up celebrating a birthday until the age of 23.
Just started really just hanging out. Right. You know what I mean? Then I threw a party for her in Miami for her birthday.
Dope.
Where I actually threw the party. We was kicking it, but we weren't really a couple yet.
Right.
And I feel like I made it comfortable for her to be a part of the whole world.
Right.
As opposed to people shunning her because she was
living in the bubble of the Jacksons.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like that's what it was. So exposed her to a lot of life that I didn't even know I could expose a person to. Because you think when somebody's that famous, that rich, they know everything.
Yeah.
They've seen everything. But it was a lot of world that we was living in here and stuff that we was going on.
Culture.
Culture-wise that they hadn't gotten in L.A. So that's where we basically started hitting it off. We was showing each other multiple things. You know what I mean? I go to Miami and she'd be staying in a different spot that I ain't never stayed in. I'm like, damn, I ain't even know nothing about this spot. Okay, right. I'm gonna come back, check. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it just started going from there. And it was just like two cool people, just like
Right.
You know, exchanging energy.
Now let's switch gears a little bit and talk about Monica's ex-husband, Shannon Brown, okay? It looks like he is out here trying to sell his home, y'all, but he was arrested and charged with aggravated assault. He allegedly shot at potential home buyers who entered his home. Now, a Tyrone Police Department spokesperson says they received a call from the alleged victims around 9:45 p.m. claiming earlier in the day they were house hunting when they saw a house with a for sale sign on it. The two individuals say they went through an open gate, and when they got to the open door of the property, they were told to come in. Once inside the property, the alleged victims claimed they were confronted by Shannon Brown before he agreed to let them go. As they were leaving the property, they claimed Shannon fired 5 or 6 shots at them. Now, when the police arrived at Shannon's house, they found only one shell casing in the area. So Shannon was arrested and taken into custody. He was released on bond 2 days later on May 4th. And many people think that this story isn't adding up, which parts of it isn't, but the story is still developing. Now, before I wrap this video, let's talk about Miss Juicy and Miss Minnie from the Little Ladies of Atlanta. As we know, Miss Minnie, who was 34, she was involved in a fatal car accident. And with the current state of our nation right now, Miss Minnie could only have 10 people at her funeral. Well, I'm assuming that Miss Juicy wasn't part of that 10. So she took to Instagram to express her condolences. And she writes, "Girl, you know I usually don't do this, but today it's an exception. I can't express the pain I've been feeling the last week, but I know it's no comparing to the pain you've been feeling here on earth, but that's all over now. Sometimes we all want to ask questions, why, when, how, for what, but why? You see, God makes no mistakes, so I don't question him. I trust, believe, have faith, and obey. So on today, your celebration of life, I will remember all the good times we shared, all the memories we made, all the way up into our last conversation the day before this tragedy event. The smiles. Just like sisters, we've had some bad days, but more good than bad." And then skipping down a little, she says, "Our motto was, what's understood, no need to explain." So I just wanted to share that tribute with you guys. I thought that was really sweet. You know, they had an up and down friendship, but what relationship, friendship isn't like that? As always, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Let's talk about it in the comment section, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.